Good afternoon. The Stalo people locally are called the Chilliwack and the Clarke tribes. And the Chilliwack Creative Commission is gratefully located on the traditional unceded territory of the Stalo people. Live from Studio C, it's Chilliwack Creative Commission's Creative Third Thursdays. Wow! Who was the warm-up act that got you guys going? This is good. That was very, very nicely done. Thank you so much. So I'm Geoff Edwards. I'm the host of Creative Third Thursdays, and what we're doing is building a list of people who are creative people in Chilliwack, and we create a featured video of them. And while I'm talking to the studio audience, I meant to say I'm also going to be talking to the audience at home. And they're right there behind that camera right now. So, like I said, I'm your host, Geoff Edwards. I'm the chair of the Creative Commission's Creative Third Thursdays Committee, and we're working hard to attract creative workers and entrepreneurs to this monthly meetup. We feature creatives and set up networking opportunities each time. So, to see previous episodes of Creative Third Thursdays, search Studio C Chilliwack on YouTube or use our hashtag Creative Chilliwack. We love to do it here in Studio C. Let's thank the man behind Studio C and a solid member of the Chilliwack Creative Commission. It's Tim McAlpine, everybody. Studio C. All right. You guys are in the studio audience, and you at home. Are you ready to meet this month's featured creative?
Our featured creative is an artist whose work is influenced by nature, myth, animation, and video games. He creates visual art that blends fantasy with reality to illustrate stories. He's active in the Fraser Valley arts community, volunteering at the Chilliwack Cultural Center's Open Studio Life Drawing Sessions, and serving on the executive team of the Chilliwack Visual Artists Association. Travis Sketches is an independent venture for commissions, prints, and live event art. He's also begun teaching his craft while developing a bit of a reputation locally as the coffee shop artist when seen working and sharing his art in local coffee shops. Please welcome this Creative Third Thursday's featured creative, Travis Clarke.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Well, we already met.
Yeah.
Nice to have you here. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
So we met last month at Creative Third Thursdays. So that's where the joke comes from. Creative Third Thursdays member Nettie Tam, she's somewhere in the audience, introduced me. We were just at a point where we had a guest planned to be our guest for this month, and it wasn't working out. And so we're scratching our heads, and Nettie goes, "Meet Travis." So here we are. So Travis, when did you start to realize, hey, I'm a visual artist?
I've always had like a creative family, so they've really inspired to just reach out and like look at your creative potential and just explore whatever you want to do. And so I really got into drawing early on, and I was always fascinated by like storytelling and the beautiful like nature and stuff around us. And I just always had a fantasy about what it could be like, just with like exploring the nature and listening to tales and trying to bring that into the psyche of people around me. So
lots of kids have watercolors and different art supplies as their parents experiment to see if this is something that would be, something other than a screen for my kid to play with.
Yeah.
What are some of your earliest recollections of
I remember they had, we had like a huge box of like the printer paper, like the one with the pull tabs on the side. And it was just that big, like endless foldable paper that you could just draw on forever. And then after that, it was just painting. Like my mom used to do like painting Christmas decorations and things. And I remember that growing up, just random like objects that you could create and just be creative with. Really just stick with my early mental of like how I became a creative person.
So that was all through school and elementary school and then high school. At what point did you think, I might be able to do this for a career?
Early on, for like in middle school, I got into like video game design and video games and animation. And it was actually at that point, my cousin, she had gotten a tablet. So like one of those pads that you can draw on and it will draw on the computer. And she did not like it. She was more of a traditional artist. And so she's like, I don't want to deal with this at that time. And so I bought it off of her, and I absolutely fell in love with not having to buy more art supplies. Because one of the hardest things when you're an artist is that you always have to continuously buy things to learn and practice with. Whereas with digital art, you have the, you pay for the program, you get the supplies for it, and then you can just create endlessly without having to worry about spending more money on like practicing the craft. And so I grew into doing that. And then in high school, I upgraded to a better tablet. And then after high school, I made the financial decision to either take a trip to Japan or buy myself a really nice graphics tablet. And I ended up winning with the graphics tablet. And so
were these weighing it, was it like trip to Japan?
It was
or was it more like even, Steven?
It was wanted both of them pretty evenly.
Yeah.
But my mom didn't want me to go to Japan on my own. So then she kind of
weighed the scale.
put her finger on the scale, like maybe this is a good investment. And I was like, okay. So
good. Your master plan worked.
Yeah.
So tell me about the tool. What tablet was it?
It was a Wacom Cintiq, and it actually lasted. I still have it. It's lasted like 10 years because I got it in 2013, and then I replaced it with another Cintiq a couple years ago. But it's like a big screen, like a huge screen that you can just draw on directly, and then the pen has different tips in it, so that you can get like a different feel. So it's not
virtual tips, but real tips.
Like real tips. So like one of them that I really liked was like a felt tip. So it felt like you're drawing on paper rather than glass. And that's one thing I don't really like about like some of the iPad stuff is that it feels like plastic on glass. You don't get that tactile response that a normal artwork kind of gives you. Like when you're working with paper or some traditional medium, you get a tactile feedback. So when you're working with like pastels on like a rough paper versus a smooth paper, you have different flows with your hand and you get different energy in the artwork that you end up creating.
So it feels organic.
It feels a lot more organic when you have the proper setup and you can just get that, you can simulate that feeling with what you have.
So what do you draw? Tell me, what do you like to focus on? I'm
a big fan of like characters. Characters is my go-to, like as you can see on there. I like making up a story.
Was this done on a tablet?
Yes. I tended to keep some of my paintings or like my digital paintings as if they were a painting, as if like I was doing like an acrylic piece. I would simulate the same techniques with this kind of style. And a lot of the times I like to make up a character and like figure out what the character is doing and then try and convey that story out to people. Coming up with like a prop or something is also fun, but you can't get that emotional feedback with like an audience member. When you draw like a really cool gun, you're kind of like, oh, that's a cool thing to sit there. But when you have a character, you can be like, what would a beach day for a merman be? And then you end up something like this.
Go to my time or something.
Yeah, he's wanting some time out of the water. Everybody wants to go to the water.
So you've become really involved in the visual arts community in Chilliwack, and you've been volunteering at the Chilliwack Cultural Center's Open Studio Life drawing sessions. Tell me about that. What are those sessions about? So
every week at the Chilliwack Cultural Center, either Wednesday we have a nude live model drawing where 18 plus artists can join in and like practice drawing a live model that's provided. doing like time sessions between like 30 seconds to 15 minutes. And then we have a break and decide how much time we want to spend on the poses afterwards. And then on it kind of like switches between like Wednesday and Thursday. And the Thursday ones are 15 plus clothed model, where we do the same thing.
I mean, that's classically sort of trained in how to get the anatomy right
Yes.
for whatever you're drawing on. And there'll be a sign-up sheet later for the studio audience. I don't know if we told you that on the way in. I'm just kidding.
But it's really great because it's a practice that's good for everybody, like at all skill levels, because we don't ask people to show the work or like guide people through the lessons either. It's like a self-study. So people come in and then they can learn how they need to learn. And if they need guidance, they can usually ask another artist that's there. And it's very freeing because there's so many different styles you can get with it. Like we had artists, like one of the artists that showed up, she used to paint backwards on glass for the longer poses. I knew one lady, she used to do white crayon on paper and then hit it with ink afterwards. So then you couldn't see what you're drawing as like the model was there. One guy who was a judge, he came in and he used to do like really like fine pastel work on paper. You just get so much different ways of expressing yourself and learning how to draw the same thing and being able to see the different styles against each other. So it's just so fun to be.
So everybody gets to see different methods people are employing to do it and maybe learn something about, hey, I didn't know how to do that. And yeah.
And it's also great because like the Thursday one, because it's 15 plus, we tend to get a lot of like high school students that want to go off to like animation school. And so like having a space that you can build up a portfolio to like show the school, because the school wants to know like how a kid draws live model. And there's actually, between here and Vancouver, there is not a lot of spaces for like an artist, like a young artist, to be able to produce that to show the school. Like you can do it online, but it's not the same feeling and you don't get the same results. And you also don't build like the same kind of feedback loop that you get with other artists being in the room with you.
For sure, for sure. And you've been holding some teaching sessions of your own. What do you like to teach people?
Well, coming up in November, I can't remember the date off the top of my head, but in November I will be doing a character, like a live person, human body drawing course as well at the Cultural Center on Mondays. And basically I do the whole rundown of teaching a person who might have little knowledge on how to draw a person, the starting point of how you can set up a person and like how you can set up the landmarks that you need to hit so that your drawing can start growing on your own time, even like past the lessons, so that you can just be at a starting point and then feel confident in continuing your practice that you need, because all forms of art is all about just getting more practice behind you to get it to a better point, and then finding out where you like to be at that point in time.
So we in the introduction video, we filmed you at the Cultural Center, because you're at the Cultural Center quite a lot.
I find myself there quite often, yes.
Yeah. So tell me about the Chilliwack Visual Artists Association.
So the Chilliwack Visual Arts Association, they help run the gallery that's in the Cultural Center there. And we also put on workshops for artists, and we're starting to try and find like other events and things that our artists can be a part of outside of just being in the gallery. But yeah, twice a year we have gallery shows at the Cultural Center for our artists. And we also help manage the other gallery events that are going on inside the gallery at the Cultural Center.
What is it you most like to teach people about becoming a visual artist?
One of the things I always go to on new artists starting out is the make it ugly method.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite people that used to come to the live model drawing, she she modeled every so often. So she was an artist, and then she also was one of our models. And when I drew her, the funnest thing that ever happened was I messed up a little bit, and I'm like, oh, I drew this wrong. And she's like, make it ugly. Because, and like her point of view was, if you were able to live in that ugly drawing and try some things that you didn't, like, you don't care about this drawing anymore. You've already messed it up. Might as well push it to the max, do as much time as you can in there, just trying weird things and playing around with it, because learning how to draw something in the ugliness will mean that when you try and make your own like beautiful drawing afterwards, you have things that you've learned from the ugly drawing. Whereas if you just cut and run and you come back and you try and make another good drawing, you've never learned anything. And so being able to make it ugly actually makes you move faster into like being a better artist.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, all kinds of creative endeavors like that. If you've got people around you, you can go, hey, what do you guys think? And they'll give you some feedback, and then next time they've got something, and they'll go, hey, check this out. And you both enjoy the whole sort of feeling of being able to appreciate, offer criticisms. You know, nobody's super fragile that you can't say, hey, if you try this might work better, or that sort of thing. And that's a really healthy environment to create for people.
Yeah.
So you're on Instagram. It's Travis Sketches. And,
Yes.
So are you a contractor for hire?
Yes, I do freelance work. I'm open to like all kind of art jobs. One of my favorite ones that I did last year, I think it was a year ago, was a wedding where I did live drawing of people, the guests at a wedding, and it was a fantasy wedding, so it was even more fun because like all of the guests came dressed as fantasy characters, either like knights and witches and stuff like that. And yeah, it was a blast to just be there and drawing them. And I also did illustrations for people before, or illustrations of pets, portraits of people. Basically anything that's like creative and storytelling people want me to draw, I am open to. And
What about publications?
yeah.
An illustrated book, for instance.
I was actually asked recently to illustrate a cover of a book and also the maps inside of it. And so that's pretty exciting, and I know it's coming out soon, hopefully, or it's being published soon. So I'm waiting on that and like the green light to hopefully. I made sure I got a new program that I'm testing out, so it actually records my drawing of my creations. So hopefully my Instagram will have the creative process of me making that cover. Unfortunately, the new program also doesn't save the same way as my other one. So once I change out to saving in a picture format rather than like the file of the program, it doesn't continue to save it. So I lost a small amount of drawing time of me drawing the character because I had to backtrack and kind of take the character from a previous drawing that I sent the client, so that I could put it back in the image because it didn't save me actually drawing it.
I know a guy that's got some famous animated shorts on YouTube, and part of his popularity stems from him showing the actual process for creating those things. Those can generate very large viewership numbers.
It's one of the struggles with like, especially being like an illustrator or a photographer or any kind of artist like that on Instagram or social media, is that they really want you to produce at least one video every so often so that your engagement can go up. Because for a long time, I've posted just drawings of my sketchbook. And if you don't have a video every so often, the number of people that are even subscribed to you usually don't get notified of those pictures. So they require that a video comes out every so often. Being able to film the process of you creating is definitely a great way for artists to boost up the viewership on their social media and like kickstart people seeing and recognizing their work online. Yes.
So everybody's got different ways that people can connect with them. What are the best ways for people to connect with you if they had some needs for an illustrator?
Definitely through email. I love to organize my stuff into one place. Whenever you have multiple facets of people connecting with you, whether it's through like social media, DMs, or talking to you in person, somebody texting me, when you have multiple places for people to get forgotten, that is never a great thing. So I always say if whenever somebody wants to do business with me, if they email contact@travissketches.com, then I can get back to them and I can keep it all like organized and everything partitioned. And then also, if you have like a weird request, having it written down, make sure that I don't forget that this character's hairstyle is supposed to be like a pinky hue with like blue crossing into it.
So contact TravisSketches.com. So just this all lowercase, contact at.
For websites or for emails and stuff, it doesn't matter for lowercase or uppercase.
So say it again.
Contact@travissketches.com.
There you go. So thank you for helping us to create our creative community here in Chilliwack, Travis. I really appreciate you taking the time and coming down, and I hope you'll come back, become a regular, maybe.
I am
2 weeks in a row now.
I'm always happy to be like a part of like the creative community stuff and like pushing for the creatives of Chilliwack to definitely connect together.
And I'm sure everybody in the room wishes you lots of success. Travis, Clarke, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.